Now, obviously, it's good to be back home this weekend against Syracuse. You know, it was a disappointing loss up there at Pittsburgh. But I tell you what, I'm so proud of this football team. I'm proud of the resolve, the resilience, the not quit attitude. It's I know it's difficult when you come out on the other side of not having opportunities to win games. But after the disappointing performance we had against Boise State and the ability to come back and play, you know, on the road against another very good team. Our guys showed a lot of character in that. Now, obviously, what you can't do, you know, you can't have a poor first quarter like we did defensively, where you know you give up 17 points. You know, they have explosive plays. You have critical lack of focus issue on some guys, and from the second, third, fourth quarter on, then they're averaging like 50 yards or less per quarter, and it's just. Again, you get back to the focus part of what you need. So I thought we did well defensively the second, third, fourth quarter, but obviously not enough the first quarter. You know, offensively, we put ourselves in positions to do some good things, but obviously being 1 for 7 in the first half of third downs, I mean, that's not going to get it, and that's not going to help you win football games. You know, did some explosive things, rushed the ball, you know. But we have to improve as a football team overall, you know, every week. But as I said, you know, it was a disappointing loss for us, and honestly, we have to do much better. But the resolve and the fight of these young men are tremendous, and I hope you have a chance to talk to these guys yourselves individually, or whatever it might be. And one of the ways to try to correct this is you get ready for the next game, but obviously there's some things that we need to correct as a football team, as a units, and then move forward and move on. I'll take any questions.
Mike, don't see Mooney on the depth chart. What's his status?
Yeah, you know, it's unfortunate that you know, Mike has a lower leg injury as of right now, and you know, we talked about after the game he got you know, you're playing at an NFL facility, they have X-ray opportunities there, so looked at the X-rays there, and as a follow-up, he'll get an MRI today. Matter of fact, as we speak, he may be getting that done now to look further to see if there's any other issues that have to be addressed. But I would say he's doubtful for this week. It's unfortunate, you know. Again, you know, he's a guy that's starter, good player. That you know, what started out as a strength for us from terms of offensive line, having had some guys here, you know, 3 of them particularly, as you guys know, week and a half ago last week declared done for the season, and now we'll see what Mike's status is. But you know, we're just regrouping and re-personnel, and guys like Ross Burbank and Mateo and all those guys. You know, they got to step up. Jack English, you know, came in for Mike Mooney, and you know, and perform. So, you know, we'll look at you know, where we are, who we have to go with, and then move forward because we got a game this Saturday.
Throughout the season, you guys have kind of started slow in the first quarter. Looking towards Syracuse, what do you guys need to do to get off to a faster start in the first quarter to get, you know, to avoid those situations? Yeah,
you know, again, when you look at Syracuse, it's a team that's an option-oriented, play-action, pass type offense. I mean, they require you to have every element of, you know, the dive, the quarterback, the pitch, play action pass, if you bite up, you know, just so many different things. And so, you know, we're going to have to make sure, you know, as I said before, kind of the mindset is paying attention to the details. I mean, the details are in the opportunities for this team to win, and particularly when you're playing against an offensive unit like Syracuse. Defensively, they do a lot of different, you know, they're fast, they run, you know, they show you different fronts, and they bring, you know, different people. So, you know, us being very detailed in how we put the plan together and execute the plan is going to be critical for us.
Coach, just going off that, you mentioned you guys rushed for over 4 yards per carry. Were you guys able to adjust on the offensive line in terms of run blocking, and is that an area of improvement that you noticed in that game, and that's something that can carry on into this game?
Well, I mean, obviously you have to address the personnel issue, number one, offensive line-wise, and that will dictate some of the things that, that you can do, that we will do. Because you look at matches or matchups, excuse me, you look at the style of what we've been doing to try to create some space, whether it's, sideline to sideline or up the middle or off tackle. We'll have to look at ways to continue to, to use the type of players we're talking about for positive gains from that standpoint. So, and that's part of the game planning of it. Like I said, Syracuse it's a very fast defense. I mean, they run to the ball well. They have number 13. He's a defensive end. He's a rusher. He's unbelievable. I mean, he gets off the ball. He does a great job of rushing the quarterback. So that's going to be important for us to protect our quarterback, but also keep finding ways to run the ball, because it opens up for the passing game. And so that's something that we should be able to do. We'll continue to keep working on.
Have you ever faced three true freshmen in your first 6 games before, and what do you see from Dungy on tape?
I can't recall that I have. Obviously, they're players that, their high school careers were such that they put them in a position to be a starter in college football. The one in UCLA had a career day, so I'm hoping that this guy doesn't have one. But Dungy is a complete guy. I believe he's number 1 in the ACC for games played. This is his 4th game. Will be the 5th game, and passing efficiency. I think he's got 7 touchdowns, maybe 1 interception through his first one last week. So he's very efficient with the ball. Because of the style of play, that option style, he'll run the ball. He's got the wherewithal that he'll pitch it when needs to. So having him back in their mix, I'm sure makes their overall offense more efficient in terms of what they try to do. But he's a very good football player. And as I said, the question was asked, how do we make sure that we start fast, or we stay on target, on focus? Is we stay on focus as far as who our responsibilities are, because it's the style of offense that if you lose focus, then they can get good plays, big plays on you.
You mentioned Syracuse's pursuit defensively, speed defensively, running toward the ball. Is that something you can counter with misdirection and such? I mean, South Florida hadn't been doing much at all on offense and rung them up for 45 the other day. They must have done something right.
Yeah, they were doing a lot of things right, David. There was obviously scoring points, and if you've seen over the last few games, the points that have been able to have been scored on Syracuse have gone up, and so everybody watches everybody's film, and you try to find the different ways and what you already have in the plan that could either accentuate or attack some of the things that that they might be doing to give you a chance. So we will look into that as far as being part of our game planning as well. And it's important for us to score points. It's important for us to have explosive plays. We want to continue to keep doing that, and we know that what we call who's running the ball, what we're doing with it, that's critical, because as you said, you just stated that there are ways that the UCF was able to exploit some things, and we got to look into that as well.
Mike, Chris Peace has been out there. I think he was out there more the other day than maybe in previous games. Is he a guy whose role could grow as the season goes on?
Definitely. The question was asked about, again, what can you do at the beginning? I mean, one, we're going to play more players defensively up front. I know we have different packages that go in, but Chris has got to be a guy that also can go in, and take some reps off, Andrew Brown, Dante Wilkins, there's guys that we have to be able to do that in order for us to sustain the level of intensity that's needed. And so when you look at Chris, he's also increased the number of special teams plays as well. And that bodes well for us, because he's got now game time experience. And so we'll see more of these guys having opportunities to go in and play and help this team.
Coach, as a follow-up, you being an old D-line guy, just has the philosophy, how much has the philosophy, or has it had to change with players like Trent Corney and Quanti Moore, who are bigger players. Moore gets the fumble return versus a Vallis and a Harold with the speed that you had last year.
Yeah, obviously, it's a different type of skill set. Those guys with Max and Eli coming off the edge, I mean, they're pass rushers extraordinaire coming off the edge. And Max was a stand-up Sam linebacker that could take a tight end man-to-man anywhere, across the field. And so, you have to adjust to a certain extent of the type of guys that you have, and they are, Quanti is more of a defensive end. You remember he played for us last year inside a little bit. Trent Corney, when he's not, he's not a stand-up guy. He's a down defensive end. He's got to learn all those techniques. So it's a little different, but that's what you got to do defensive-wise. You got to find out the talent that you have and then utilize them, the best way that you can to help them be successful.
There's similarities between you guys and Syracuse in terms of in the non-conference taking on a top 10 team and giving them a pretty good game. Obviously, Syracuse against LSU, you guys against their day. Did you watch that LSU game? I think it was the day after.
Just finished watching it. Yeah.
And what kind of? I guess what kind of effort did you see there, and what makes them kind of dangerous in that respect? And they played them.
No, they played at home. They had their quarterback situation was different. I mean, and had a guy playing for them that, in their home crowd, it was loud. They played inspired. As I said before, they ran around pretty good, and the quarterback distributed the ball. If you saw the different ways the ball was moved, not just running but through the air, and play action pass or off the run, throwing the ball down the field vertical. So they played a very inspired game against, I believe, what LSU was number 6, 7, 8 in the country at that time. And definitely into the third and fourth quarter when things started to get away. So and Coach Schaefer's a good football coach. He's a good man. I've known him now here for a couple years, and I know that he'll have the team ready to play.